So, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another Premier League video. We're going to be speaking about the Premier League proposal to shake up the league and reinvest a lot of that money into the EFL. It's called Project Big Picture. Before I go through that, I'm going to be reading this off a Sky Sports website. They're answering a lot of the questions that people have put in on how it's going to work, how it's going to affect teams, etc., etc. But before I get into reading that and going through that, make sure you stick a thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you are new. Make sure you also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links for them are in the description down below. Download HOTMIC. Make sure you do that. There is a t-shirt giveaway. You've got until the end of the month. Any t-shirt, football shirt of your choice with any name or number on the back. All you have to do is download HOTMIC. Use my code. It's scrolling across the screen, Lee623, and you're qualified. Doesn't matter whether you've been on there before or if you join now. One lucky person will get that shirt of their choice. And also download Flick for a chance to be in with a signed and framed Thierry Henry shirt. The giveaway for that ends after the Man City game this Saturday. So not long to go on that. That's free to download. Go to the Thierry Henry chat on Flick. Bottom right, you'll see a character sat there, a little animal. Click on it and put 2 emotes in the chat. That's it. You're qualified. But let's get straight into reading this. All the things you'll need to know, basically. Project Big Picture has drawn a mixed response across the game. Why did the EFL want it? Why are the Premier League worried? Who is driving the plans? What are the radical reforms? What has the reaction been? We're going to go through it all. So as we scroll down, it's the biggest shake-up in English football since the launch of the Premier League. But just what is Project Big Picture and how would it come into effect? Basically, Project Big Picture is already a very divisive and potentially seismic. It has been described as the biggest single shake-up of English professional game in a generation if it comes to pass. It's called Project Big Picture, but it could turn out to be a big horror show, says Sky Cover. Well, less said about what he thinks, the better. So what does the proposal entail? Here are the key points. So the Premier League would be reduced from 20 down to 18 clubs. The League Cup and Community Shield would be scrapped. Current one club, one vote principle would be abolished, as would rule that the 14 out of the 20 clubs need to agree on the policy. Power would be in the 9 clubs' hands that have remained in the Premier League the longest. Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Southampton, Tottenham and West Ham. Only 6 of the 9 longest serving clubs need to vote for the major change. 250 million payments up front for the EFL, plus 100 million payment to the Football Association. 25% of the Premier League annual revenue, up from 4%, would go to the EFL clubs. So it's filtering the money back down into the lower leagues. 25% of all combined Premier League and EFL revenues would go to the EFL clubs. A huge increase on the current arrangement of just 4%. And 250 million pound up to help clubs survive during the current financial crisis. It then says the coronavirus pandemic and the knock-on effect of fans not being allowed into grounds has led to the EFL clubs feeling a financial pinch. Then it says the need for a bailout from the Premier League clubs benefiting from TV revenues has only intensified. The Project Big Picture is viewed as a solution for sustainable future for many clubs in League 1 and 2. Let's continue on. The Premier League have already voiced their unease about the proposal, stating a number of individual proposals in a plan published today could have damaging impacts on the whole game. And we are so disappointed to see it, says Rick Parry, the chair of the EFL, has given his on-record support. Translated, the Premier League are, to borrow the analysis of Sky Sports Cover, distinctly unimpressed. Like I said, I couldn't care less what that geezer's got to say about anything. Useless. Why are the Premier League worried? This is what we want to get to, the juicy bits. If adopted, Project Big Picture would place the power in the hands of the established so-called Big Six. Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham, along with 3 clubs with the longest continual stay in the Premier League, Southampton, West Ham and Everton. But only the votes of those 6 clubs would be required to make the changes, which is a big issue, a real big issue, because all of a sudden you're now diminishing and getting rid of anybody else's voting powers and just giving it to 6 bigger clubs. That's a madness. Clearly, that takes the power away from the other top flight sides who currently enjoy a 1 club, 1 vote status. Currently, a majority of 14 is required for any significant decisions to be passed. Among those decisions is the new ownership of Premier League clubs. So if a team outside of the big 9 are approached for a takeover, they only need 6 of the big 9 to vote in favour of it. So that's 6 instead of 14 now. On the face of it, there's little change of the 14 Premier League clubs voting for proposals. The clubs are already losing money because of the pandemic, and the value of broadcast rights are falling. Why would the majority vote for proposals which would cut the amount of money they receive and increase the likelihood of them being in relegation? It would be like turkeys voting for Christmas. Well, there you go. Let's move on. The reform plan was drawn up by Liverpool's owners, Fenway Sports Group, was started in 2017. Manchester United are also at the forefront. Rick Parry, the Premier League's original chief executive, has been in place at the EFL for just over a year and has been working on a solution to the perennial, should I say, funding problem, claiming parachute payments, which clubs receive over 3 years when they are relegated to the Championship, are an evil that needs to be eradicated. He is fully on board with the plans and believes that the majority of EFL clubs will be too. Speaking on Sky Sports, Parry said it's been a long time in the making. There has been dialogue with major clubs, not just Manchester United and Liverpool. It's been many months in the making and been a thought through process, thoroughly analysed. At its heart, this is very simple. It's about taking a major chunk of the media revenues and funneling them down through the game to recognise the relevance and importance of keeping the pyramid strong, not just in the short term, but in the long term. Which, listen, that part of it, I think is absolutely superb. Listen, without all these lower down teams, you know, these big clubs were sitting at the top of the tree, wouldn't be getting all this money in. Yeah, some of these players have come from lower league teams. Jamie Vardy, the Premier League's top goal scorer, was playing in these leagues 6-7 years ago. It doesn't matter where the idea came from. What matters is the idea has enormous merit. And I think that the fact that our major clubs are showing great interest in the pyramid, that they are demonstrating leadership, which is something to be applauded. We genuinely think that this is in the big interests of the game as a whole, certainly in the best interests of the pyramid. What are the radical reforms? We're going to go through that now. Go deeper, you'll find the wide-ranging proposals dealing with everything from the Premier League reorganisation to capping away ticket prices, subsidised Premier League away travel sections of at least 3,000, i.e. 8% of capacity, will be capped at £20 on away tickets. That's currently capped at 30 quid. So £10 drop off of that will delight some fans. Safe standing section as well, obviously subject to government permissions. There is also a plan to get greater emphasis on the merit for position finishes in the Premier League, with more prize money than usual awarded for finishing higher up the table. The footballing calendar would also be organised with the focus of avoiding fixture pile-ups and to help the England national team. The Women's Professional League would also go independent away from the Premier League and the FA. Among the most contentious are reducing the Premier League to 18 teams, with the club finishing 16th in the Premier League, joining a playoff with the championship team in 3rd, 4th and 5th. The League Cup and Community Shield would be discontinued. And in terms of media, all Premier League clubs could sell 8 live matches a season directly to fans on their own channels, which is very interesting. How would it work? The big clubs have long wanted to be able to exploit their value and international TV rights, and this would give them the power to do so. All Premier League clubs would have exclusive rights to sell 8 live games directly outside of the UK on their own digital platforms, and in the future, who knows, that vote could then increase from 8 to 16 to 24 to 36. Going forward, there would be nothing to stop the big 6 using their preferred votes to increase the number of games. This is the ultimate aim for the likes of Man United and Liverpool. Controversially claim they have 1.1 billion fans worldwide, and the other, which is 1 every 7 human beings, including 253 million in China. They want to monetize that fan base by charging them directly to watch their games. At the moment, the majority of income from the Premier League international broadcast rights is split equally between the 20 clubs. Let's go on to what the government reaction is to this. A statement from the Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sport read on Sunday, we are surprised and disappointed at that at a time of crisis, we have urged the top tiers of professional football to come together and finalise a deal to help lower league clubs. They appear to be backroom deals cooked up that would create a closed shop and at the very top of the game. Subsequently, integrity and anything that may undermine them is deeply troubling. Fans must be at the front of all of our minds, and this shows why our fans-led review of football governance will be so critical. The Culture Secretary, Oliver Dowden, whose government briefs include sport, was asked on Monday's Kay Burley programme on Sky News if the plan would protect smaller clubs or simply power grabbing by the bigger ones. He said, I fear it would be the latter. I'm quite sceptical about this. He said, there's a lot of money in the Premier League. Just look at the last transfer window, over £1 billion spent. I believe this is more than the next 4 largest leagues in Europe put together that has been spent in that window. There is money in sport that should be getting together to sort the sport out. I'm afraid that if we keep having these backroom deals and all of these other things going on, we're going to be looking at we will have to look at underlying governance of football. In terms of the press, Daily Mail's headline on Monday read, the Premier League descends into civil war, with Martin Samuel calling it a disgusting Big 6 power grab. We're not going to read the rest. What happens next is there will be a PR charm offensive over the next few days for the hearts and the minds of fans to convince them that the Premier League proposals are good for the game. I will say that again. We are being told that the owners of Manchester United and Liverpool are very concerned about the footballing pyramid and the plight of lower leagues. It's difficult to believe that that's what they worry about when they wake up in the morning. It's more likely that they wake up to more money. I'm not going to read the rest of this out. I am just going to give you my quick thoughts on this. Firstly, the idea in principle, fantastic. When you dig deeper, it is pretty much the bigger teams going, yo, we can have a closed shop. But Sky Sports, listen, Sky Cover, I don't listen to anything that guy says. That guy works and represents for Sky Sports, right? He's not going to sit there and say, oh, this is fantastic, is he? Because basically what this is going to do is take a lot of money away from Sky Sports, from BT Sport, because if they can go and sell 8 games, which then could then rise to 16 to 20 to all of them, it kills off Sky Sports. And let's be honest here, Arsenal could go and charge 20 quid a game in every single country in the world. Sky Sports are beaming that to England. Sky Sports don't beam it to Spain. It's the Zone that do it in Spain. So Arsenal could have the Spain. You could do it off of Arsenal's website, basically, couldn't you? 20 quid, I'll watch it on Arsenal website. You could do that in every single country in the world. This could be massive, absolutely massive for football clubs, or the top tier football clubs. Filtering the money down, I think, is a great idea. But what I do think is it's a snide little, we'll filter some money down because we know we're going to clean up over here. So the money that we're cleaning up over here, when we're filtering it down, it don't really matter because we've already made more than we're getting now anyway, even paying them out. In essence, it's a decent idea. It's a massive, massive money-making idea for every single one of them top clubs. It does save some of these lower down the league clubs, lower down the chain clubs, which is fantastic. It does away with the League Cup, which I think is stupid. Why? Why would you do away with the League Cup? I like the League Cup. I want to win the League Cup. And it does away with the Community Shield, which again, why would you do away with that? It's a charity match. Why would you do away with that? So I don't kind of get that side of it. What I do get, though, is this is massive. And if it does go through, then this could be the end of Sky and BT Sport. Like, in terms of their football coverage, it'll slowly see a decline of that. And that is why they are so worried, because now the clubs are so powerful because of their investment into them with their TV rights and stuff like that, that now they can say, like, oh, we want to do our own thing now. And listen, why wouldn't they? They're a multi-billion-pound business, most of these Premier League clubs, or all of the Premier League clubs. They're multi-billion-pound businesses. If they want to now move away from Sky Sports and BT Sport, they're full within their rights to do so. But at the same time, it's got to be done properly. I'm kind of on the fence with it. I like some of the ideas. I don't like some of the other ideas. I just want to see my team compete. That's all I want to do. But I'd love to know your thoughts on all of this. Are you on it? Are you thinking, yeah, this could be sick? Because like I said, Arsenal got so many fans globally that if they wanted to charge 20 quid a game, people will pay it because they want to watch Arsenal. And Arsenal know that. Man United know that. Liverpool know that. All these clubs know that. So it could be absolutely huge, which then means more money would get invested into the teams, you'd imagine. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you'd get more investment. Maybe you'd get higher wages. Maybe it'd just continue on and on and on. Where does it end? I'd love to know your thoughts on all of that. Leave it all in the comment section down below. All have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. I'm out of here. I'll be back a little bit later on with a live stream about 6 o'clock. Laters, peeps.